So firewood. For many of us, it can be just a necessity of life, whether it's large amounts or even just personal use amounts that we want to move around. And whether we're wanting to use it for our solid fuel or wood stove in our vehicle, or better yet, taking a bunch to go and enjoy a summer campfire.
Hi YouTube family and friends. So we have another one of our maybe not completely searched very often topics, but super important nevertheless. It's all about firewood. So whether you're using it in a solid fuel stove or you're taking it with you camping, because in most of the province of BC right now, you can still have campfires, provided you follow the rules. But we want to talk about some of the rules, especially regarding the wood part of it. So we hope you like this video. We hope it's informative, and we hope it keeps somebody from actually getting a ticket or worse, having your vehicle or something seized because you don't know the rules. Very simple, and they make sense once somebody tells you about them. So we hope you like this content. Okay, so let's talk about wood. Now we have lots and lots of wood, and we had a wood stove, which we've taken out. So the whole reason that this video is occurring is because we actually did get some questions from people and other feedback personally about, well, if you have all this wood, why are you buying wood for your wood heater, when we talked about it as an expense that you need to take into consideration. And the reason for that is it's actually illegal to transport wood across the border, so from Canada to US or US to Canada, if it's untreated. Now there are ways you can do it if it's treated wood, but that's a whole procedure all in itself and requires lots of documentation and everything else. So for the most part, it's not something that's going to happen, or not something that you're going to be able to do. And doing anything illegal can mean fines, tickets, and it can also mean impounding of your vehicles, something that you don't want over something very simple. So just don't transport wood. Get the wood where you are going. So you might need to pay for it, yes, but there's reasons. We need to protect the forests. Basically, wood should always be obtained within 80 kilometers of where you're going to be using it. So if you're going up to the Kootenays, make sure that it was in a town within 80 kilometers of where you are at that campground, so that you know that it's local wood. And most campgrounds do have their own wood supply, and they are complying with the rules, but they just don't let people know that. So a lot of you might actually think that it's okay. We could have totally thought it was okay, but we checked into it way ahead of time, and we knew that there was more rules. Now we're trying to protect the forest from many things. So for example, in BC, the mountain pine beetle destroyed a huge percentage of our softwood lumber in the province, and that's one of the reasons we don't transport wood. In the city of Vancouver itself, so you might have a tree that was downed and you live in Vancouver, and you're in that beetle protection zone that they actually have, and it's listed everywhere. You'll see signs that there's protection zones everywhere. You can go online and look at protection zones as well, but the easiest thing is just don't use your wood. Buy the wood where you go and use it. So campfires are still allowed in most of the province, and if you're using it for your wood stoves, make sure that you're buying wood locally as you're going along, or you're at least buying the compressed logs, which typically for most people are a better choice in the wood stoves. So there's a few pests, I'm just going to name them off really quick, that we want to try to protect against, just to give you some idea. So this is mainly in the Alberta or BC area, and another reason why you don't want to be transporting them. So there's the Asian longhorn beetle, which is actually in Vancouver, so that's why you don't want to bring the wood up to the Okanagan, because they don't have it here yet. The brown spruce longhorn beetle. There's Dutch elm disease. So in Alberta, you totally don't want to bring Alberta wood into BC, otherwise we're going to have that issue here on a much greater scale. The gypsy moth, and I'll show you some little cocoons around here. So it's very easy to spread it. They hide in the wood. The emerald ash borer And I already talked about the mountain pine beetle, but there's also the spruce bark beetle. So these can be totally devastating to a province's softwood or hardwood industry. So it's very, very important that wood is treated or purchased within 80 kilometers of where you're going to use it. So just taking a look at this wood that I was actually sitting on, this log, you can see that there's fungus here, there are boreholes here. This is a perfectly fine tree, and even ones that are standing up, this one's just easier for me to film, will have all of these where woodpeckers go and get the bugs out of them. So this is all sitting in the wood. Fungus spreads easy, pollen and little moth nests and stuff all are exactly what we're talking about, that can be transported and cause problems for where you're taking it. So I'm sorry, this is a little bit darker, but I wanted to point this out. This is another thing you can totally see evidence. There's a whole sawdust pile here that you can tell there's bugs in the wood above, boring in there and laying eggs or who knows what else in there. So another important reason. And this last piece, I've pulled off all the bark off here, so you can see that there's definitely a whole like intricate system of bugs that have been in between the bark and the wood. Definitely evidence, and pretty much every piece of wood that you're ever going to grab is going to have bugs and stuff in it. So don't transport wood. Okay guys, so we want to keep that short. We've listed the reasons why you're not supposed to transport it. Buy wood local within 80 kilometers. Don't try to cross the border. If we can prevent one person from getting a black mark against their name because they weren't aware that it was contraband to take wood, our whole goal of this video will be achieved. Now also with camping, please be kind to the industry in your area, softwood or hardwood. They're struggling already, and if we can prevent any pest infestations, they'd love us for that. So we hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Your feedback is always super appreciated. We know that this isn't the world's most looked after subject, but that also means that there's not people out there talking about it. So we hope it's informed you. We hope it helps. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel and click that little bell, because you know we don't always regularly do videos because of health issues. So thanks so much for watching. We love your love and support, and we hope you like this video.